Okay, this is question number 26 from chapter number 8 of Pathfinder for Physics Olympiad. In a vertical cylinder container, ND moles of dry ice, CO2 in solid state, and NC moles of CO2 gas are in thermal equilibrium under a piston. So here we have the container, we have some dry ice, ND moles of dry ice, and we have then gaseous carbon dioxide, which is NC moles. Okay, then we have a piston over here. Walls of the cylinder and the piston are insulators. Above the piston is vacuum. So there is vacuum over here. We have this piston, and I have assumed the piston to be having some mass m. Initially the system is at the sublimation temperature of dry ice, which is Tc. Okay. When the system is supplied an amount Q of heat that is greater than heat of sublimation of dry ice, the piston moves up a distance h and a new steady state is reached. Find temperature inside the container in the new steady state. So the question says that we are supplying some amount Q of heat to the system. The piston will rise, volume is changing. So we have to find the final temperature. So for that, let's look at the initial conditions. Okay. Now, first of all, we look at the pressure. Pressure of the gas P will be what? Mg by area. The piston has mass m, so it is experiencing gravity force downwards. Okay, so gravitational force divided by the area of the piston should give us the pressure of the gas. Outside there is vacuum, so the pressure of the gas is only equal to mg by a. And since as the piston rises or falls, gravitational force is always acting, so the pressure remains constant. The pressure will remain constant for the system always. So initially and finally always the pressure will remain mg by a. Now, initial volume. Volume of gaseous CO2 is how much? Volume of gaseous CO2 will be, I use the ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. So NCRTC by P, this is the volume of the gaseous CO2, correct? This is your V1. Volume of solid CO2 dry ice is negligible as compared to the gaseous CO2. Okay, so volume of dry ice negligible. Volume of dry ice is negligible. Okay, now what is the initial internal energy? Internal energy U1 will be what? Degree of freedom for CO2 is 5. So for the gaseous CO2 I have 5 by 2 NCRTC, and for the dry ice I have 5 by 2 NDRTC. This is the initial internal energy of the system. Now we look at the final situation. So finally the temperature is T. The final temperature is T. Okay, final temperature is T. So the final volume is how much? Final volume V2 will be NC plus ND R into T divided by P. Final temperature T. Total number of moles of the gas finally is NC plus ND. See, initially number of moles is NC, finally number of moles of gas is NC plus ND. Okay, so the volume has changed by some amount. Okay, final internal energy is how much? Internal energy finally U2 will be 5 by 2 NC plus ND RT. This is the final internal energy. Now let's look at the heat supplied. So heat supplied is how much? Let's look at, use another color. Heat supplied is Q. Net heat supplied is how much? Q minus heat used to convert to sublimate dry ice into gaseous CO2. So minus number of moles into latent heat. Okay. Some amount of this heat energy is used for sublimation of dry ice to convert dry ice into gas. So this much energy is utilized for sublimation. So the net heat supplied to the gas, is Q minus NDL. Okay. Work done by the gas is how much? Work done by the gases, pressure is constant, so final volume minus initial volume. This is the work done. So this is equal to pressure into V2. Pressure times V2 will give me NC plus ND RT. NC plus ND RT minus pressure into V1. So pressure into V1 should give me NCRTC. NCRTC. Now we use the first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics, what does it say? That the net heat supplied minus work done by the gas is equal to change in internal energy of the system. Okay. So net heat supplied is how much? Q minus NDL. Q minus NDL minus work done is how much? This is the work done. So because we have a minus sign in the front, so minus NC plus ND RT plus NCRTC. This is equal to delta U means what? U2 minus U1. So U2 is 5 by 2 NC plus ND RT. 5 by 2 NC plus ND RT minus U1 is what? 5 by 2 NCRTC plus 5 by 2 NDRTC. 5 by 2 NCRTC minus 5 by 2 NDRTC. So rearrange this equation. So Q minus NDL, okay, NCRTC plus 5 by 2 NCRTC. So we get plus 7 by 2 NCRTC. This will go on the other side as well. So plus 5 by 2 NDRTC is equal to this equation will this term will go on the other side of the equation and add up with this one. So we get 5 by 2 plus 1. So that gives us 7 by 2 NC plus ND RT. So rearrange this equation and you will get temperature T is equal to 2Q minus 2 NDL plus RTC 7 NC plus 5 ND divided by 7 times NC plus ND times R. Okay. So this is the final temperature. Now there are few ambiguities over here which I need to express specifically. I have taken the degree of freedom for carbon dioxide as 5 because there are 3 translational degrees of freedom and 2 rotational degrees of freedom, and we have ignored the vibrational degree of freedom. Okay, why we have ignored the vibrational degree of freedom? Because the sublimation temperature of dry ice is very small. It's in negative Celsius. Okay, so at those temperatures probably the vibrational degrees of freedom don't work, but at room temperature the degree of freedom for CO2 is near to 7 at room temperature. Okay, but we are not going into that. Here we have used the degree of freedom as 5. Okay.